Hi, it's case study time, and today I want to talk about one of the more popular brands in email marketing, ConvertKit. Let me share my screen with you. All right, so today's agenda is basically a case study how ConvertKit rose as an underdog amidst cutthroat competition and what other SaaS brands can learn from it. That's the agenda for today. Well, let's first start by accepting and addressing that the email marketing world is competitive, or more specifically, there are a lot of email marketing. There are a lot of email service providers to choose from. There's of course the industry leaders like Mailchimp, and then there is MailerLite, and then there is ConvertKit, and then there is Drip, and so on and so forth. So there is a lot of competition for sure, but amidst all of this competition, one brand that seems to be making a lot of impact is ConvertKit, right? Besides that, besides all of this competition, ConvertKit as a brand is thriving, and we want to figure out how this is happening, what is actually happening because of which this brand is able to thrive. Okay, now for the sake of this presentation, I have considered a few other competitors such as iContact, MailerLite, Aweber, Freshmail, Constant Contact, Drip, etc. Now, I have not taken into consideration Mailchimp. Why not Mailchimp? Why haven't I considered Mailchimp into this? Because, well, Mailchimp is more of a category leader as far as email marketing is concerned. They were at the top when email marketing actually started, and so they already have a ton of market share, and that is like a little out of syllabus, a little out of context as far as these if you can't categorize newer players along with Mailchimp. Also, the privilege of being an early entrant in the market is that you can have a diluted brand, or you don't really have to have a strong story, or you don't have to have a strong positioning, because you have already dominated a large section of the market, because of which we will not be looking at an industry leader such as Mailchimp. Now let's just analyze what ConvertKit's story looks like. Before we analyze the story, there are a couple of facts. I mean, I did say that ConvertKit is dominating the market. I did say that they are thriving and growing, but where are the numbers? Do I have the proof of whether it's actually happening or not? Well, in on March 19, 2018, Nathan Berry, the CEO of ConvertKit, said that yesterday ConvertKit hit 1 million in MRR, which is monthly recurring revenue. And then he goes on to say that in order to achieve this particular figure, it took him 5 years, 2 months, and 18 days. All right, now if you go to this particular chart by Bear Metrics, it shows that the current monthly recurring revenue that they have is a little more than 1.85 million, very close to 1.8 million, as you can see on the screen. So yes, that definitely the growth has been staggering, and yes, within a very short amount of time period. Okay, now coming back to ConvertKit's story, what does ConvertKit say through its website? Let's talk about that a little bit. So when you go to ConvertKit's website, it says that it's audience building for creators. Okay, so the one thing that is clear is that this tool is for not for everyone, but for creators. They say that share your creative process, which means that a creator typically can use ConvertKit to share his creative process. Then the creator gets to inspire the next generation. The creator gets to find his niche. The creator gets to turn his side hustle into a career. All right, with ConvertKit, creators like you can easily share ideas, connect with an audience, earn an income. Now, in the homepage itself, it starts getting pretty clear that this particular this particular brand is not for everyone. All right, it is not for everyone. It is only for this particular set group known as creators. All right, now when you go to the about section, it shows the team, and it shows yeah, basically the team. And then when you go to the vision and mission, that's where it gets really interesting. The mission says that we exist to help creators earn on living online. Who's a creator? Well, a blogger, author, maker, YouTuber, poet, painter, musician, etc., etc. Now here I do want to interject and say that they are not at all positioning themselves as an email marketing tool I don't know, like a big like a big IT services organization, or they don't want to compete with Mailchimp or HubSpot. No, they have picked up a very very specific set of audience, and they are telling stories which resonate with this particular audience. Not for all the audience, but the words that they are choosing, the images that they are choosing, the copy that they are choosing can only appeal to a certain type of a person who they call as a creator. All right, as far as their vision is concerned, it's all about it's all about, it's very customer centric. They're not saying that we want to do this, they are saying that we want our customers to do this. Okay, so we want to hit these numbers, and we want them to have we want our creators to use make this much of revenue. uh, I find the values of ConvertKit extremely extremely intriguing, and I really really connect with them. And the reason is because they are authentic. A lot of times, you have these mission statements where where a company, basically sits down and creates this, very intelligent mission and a vision statement, and they don't believe even a part of it. ConvertKit, on the other hand, actually these values are actually true to them. They actually follow these values. Okay, right? So they say that teach everything you know, create every day, work in public, default to generosity, existing customers matter more than new customers, do less better, and then, freaking A players. um I find this extremely fascinating, just because it's extremely true to the brand. I also know that they teach a lot. So teach everything you know is one value that they follow. So they do have a lot of resources. They do have a lot of activities where they try to uh, uh, educate their target market. All right, so these are a few elements of Convert Kit's story. Now if you compare the competitors, okay, so I have also opened the websites of these platforms: iContact, MailerLite, Aweber, Freshmail, Constant Contact, and Drip. Okay, now if you go to iContact, for example, it says upgrade your email marketing with iContact, drive higher ROI of every message. Okay, so I get a certain idea about what they're all about. Not a lot of idea, but a certain idea. Then they say do emails differently, harness the power of automation, bringing it all together now, and then nothing much, right? I mean, I don't know. A few questions are unanswered. I mean, I don't know uh, if this tool is for. I mean, who is this tool for? I don't have a clear idea. What is their mission? I don't have a clear idea. How are they different from the other tools? I don't have an idea. Even if I go to the about section, I will not get a lot of information as far as eye contact is concerned. Now till the time it gets loaded, I'll just show you how MailerLite looks like. MailerLite's situation is similar. It says create email marketing your way, or automate email marketing your way, or optimize email marketing your way, which doesn't quite make a lot of sense to me, because all of these features are available in other tools as well. Then they say you are in good company, and then you have these testimonials, and then there is pricing, um, and integrations and newsletter designs. Again, I don't quite know what this brand stands for. I don't quite know what are they trying to do. I don't quite know who is the company for, right? So this again, it creates a certain confusion for me. If you go to the about us section of MailerLite, again it says meet the MailerLite team and learn about your core values, and they show a few photos, but then um yeah, if you read the copy, there is nothing quite interesting about MailerLite, right? I mean, it doesn't it what do they stand for? Is this brand the simplest email marketing tool? Is it the most premium email marketing tool? Is it the email marketing tool for enterprises? Like, there is no stand, there is no story, and the same story is repeated, or the same situation is repeated in other organizations like Aweber, which is the probably the oldest of the lot. But again, in Aweber as well, I don't see a very specific audience that they're targeting. All of them are the same. In Freshmail also, they say effective email marketing campaigns. Okay, clever, stunning emails, clever autoresponders. Just sounds the same, doesn't it? I mean, I hope by now you can see how ConvertKit is different from these brands. And even again, let's say if I go to the about us section of Freshmail, it says is to provide the most user-friendly solution for building relations between brands and customer. Again, sounds very abstract. Vision also sounds very abstract. I think if I compare all these tools, if I compare iContact, MailerLite, and Aweber, and Freshmail, and if I just compare their websites, all of them have the same positioning, all of them don't have any story whatsoever. So obviously, I'll pick the one that is the cheapest, or I'll pick the one that has perhaps the feature that I want. But ConvertKit is totally different. Now there is one exception, though. There is one exception, which is Drip. I am quite impressed and fascinated by how Drip are positioning themselves. Drip is not saying, unlike the other brands, Drip is not talking about their product right away. They're talking about their target market. So Drip is positioning itself as a e-commerce marketing tool, okay, which is great, because now they're taking a stand. And now I know that, I beg your pardon, now I know that they're extremely specific, right? And here, if you see, understand the whole customer story, set your store apart with personalization. So it's all about e-commerce. Okay, analyze and optimize data with your fingertips. The most important part about the Drip website, though, if you go to the About Us section of Drip, it will tell you a story. It will tell you a story about how relevant they are to the e-commerce. About how relevant they are to the e-commerce business. So we are empowering. We are empowering the e-commerce rebellion. E-commerce was built to unite unique people with goods, but today's giant marketplaces are threatening that spirit. I love this, because they are creating a story. They are painting a picture that, hey, this is there is something which is there is a villain in the story, and we want to defeat that villain. So Drip is here to fight back and keep e-commerce independent, right? And then they talk about how Amazon is dominating, and then they talk about how they are, and then they also talk about every time this happens, the store loses a sale to one of the online giants, right? So if I am the owner of a smaller e-commerce store, I can immediately connect with the story. So kudos to Drip for building a strong positioning and a strong story for their particular brand. But apart from Drip, none of them can actually compete in terms of positioning and story with ConvertKit. All right. So if you look at the positioning chart looks something like this. So the XY grid for positioning, there is creators, and then there is this the other extreme is everyone else. Authentic brand elements and very plain blah branding. As far as authentic brand elements are concerned, um, ConvertKit, like I said, has a really good story. They have strong values. They stand for something which most of the other brands are not standing for. And on top of that, they are for a specific target audience, which is the creators. They are not positioning themselves for everyone else. So they are being extremely specific. All right. As far as initial growth strategies are concerned, how did ConvertKit grow initially? I find this story very fascinating, because the CEO, the founder, Nathan Berry, basically started with a cold outreach to bloggers. He sent out cold emails to bloggers, and the organization was not doing well. ConvertKit story has not always been pleasant. They were not doing so well at all. So when he started doing this outreach to bloggers, he used to call them on Skype calls, and he had these hundreds and hundreds of Skype calls where he just talked to the bloggers and proposed this new solution, this ConvertKit solution to them. Now, in this activity, he realized that the bloggers are hesitant for one simple reason, that they think that, what, I'm already using this, and switching from this tool to that tool, switching from an existing tool to ConvertKit is too much of a headache for me, because of which, I am hesitating a little bit. Nathan was listening. Nathan was empathetic. He listened to his customers, which most of us don't do. And he said, you know what? Okay, I understand that this is one of your problems, and I will try to fix it. I will do the whole thing for you. I will manually help you transition into this new tool so that it is done with minimum hassle, so that you don't have to face any headaches. And so this was the first level of traction, where he just reached out to bloggers. And then a lot of, when the first initial early adopters came to the platform, there was a lot of word of mouth, because of which the brand slowly started growing. And the second thing that Nathan did was that he started an affiliate program. He basically created an affiliate program where of course the bloggers which could bring on the new users could benefit. So these are the two growth strategies that they use. Now, other mentions before we wrap up, one of the things that ConvertKit does is that they organize this conference known as Craft and Commerce, and they also have other events, online events for creators as well, which means webinars and basically webinars and live training sessions. But as far as Craft and Commerce is concerned, it's a very reputed conference. It's again a conference for creators, where a lot of creators speakers come attend, and the speakers are amazing. Seth Godin has spoken a lot at this conference. One of my friends, Sean McCabe, has spoken at this conference. And yeah, it's something that many of them look up to. Now, why is this important? Because not only is ConvertKit specific about its target market, ConvertKit also knows the importance of building a tribe. And Seth Godin talks a lot about building a tribe. ConvertKit is ensuring that they are not just a tool, but they're on a mission to help this particular tribe. And one of the ways in which they're helping this tribe is through this craft and commerce conference. Through this conference, the speakers interact with the crowd, but more importantly, the crowd interacts with each other, and that is how a loyal fan following is built. So I think this is quite brilliant. Thirdly, also they have a lot of resources for creators. If you go to the website, you will find a lot of resources. All these initiatives are helping ConvertKit build a tribe, and empathy is the key, because these conferences or these things are not just being done ad hoc. They understand, they actually put the customers ahead of everyone else, and deploy empathy, try to figure out what they're doing, and then these things are arranged. All right, as far as the summary is concerned, let's just summarize what we have covered so far. uh, if you're Mailchimp, ignore this, but if you're other SaaS brand, these takeaways I think would really help you. The first takeaway is pick your audience. And I can't there are so many examples of so many SaaS brands who don't know who their audience is. And so you have to pick your audience, which means that it's okay to say no to the 99% of the other audience. It's okay to be specific. It's okay if the others don't get the joke, but the right people should get the joke, should understand what your brand is all about. You have to stand for something. ConvertKit takes a stand. They're all about generosity, for example. So you have to pick something. You can't, you have to be a bit polarizing. You can't just be vanilla. So stand for something and have a good positioning and have a great story, which is what ConvertKit is all about. Yes, tell a story is what ConvertKit is all about. And lastly, building a tribe. You just don't have to look at a relationship as a broadcast relationship. You have to, if you create initiatives that help the tribe bond with each other, and if you do activities which help them in their day-to-day craft, then it's definitely going to build a loyal fan following for you. So that's it from my end, guys. I hope you find this short case study useful. Of course, this is not an exhaustive list. A success of a brand depends on a lot of parameters, but these are the few parameters which I believe are at the root of ConvertKit, which helped the brand succeed. What do you think? Which point did you connect with? What is your feedback? Which is the other thing that I've missed out on this particular video? Please let me know, and I hope you found this useful. Thanks. Bye bye.